CloseCallSports.com, we were asked to analyze this play.
This is popped up. Abreu runs into the runner Dozier, and the catch is made. Abreu got clobbered, and Dozier's down, and Jose is down. Oh my goodness, full speed into one another.
This is a really tough play, just because you have two players who are hurt, and it's very tough not to react to that. They're both on the ground, they're both clearly injured. The two managers are out, the trainers are out for both teams. This is a pretty bad case scenario. Listen.
This is just horrible. Ooh.
Dozier was running with his head down.
And Jose might have gotten cut around the nose because of the glasses. Yikes.
But at the end of the day, a call has to be made. Look at the home plate umpire. Just see what he does. First and foremost, notice that Bellino, the home plate umpire, is standing pretty much first baseline extended, looking for a fair foul ruling, looking for the interactions there. As this play continues, we're going to highlight what the umpire is actually calling based on the rules of baseball. Here we go. The two terms to familiarize yourself with right now are interference and obstruction. Interference by the offense is an act by the team at bat which interferes with, obstructs, impedes, hinders, or confuses any fielder attempting to make a play, whereas obstruction is the act of a fielder who, while not in possession of the ball and not in the act of fielding the ball, impedes the progress of any runner. You have to use both of these rules to figure out who did what to whom and if that means anything. And if you look at it, the first thing you'll notice is that obstruction, the act of a fielder who, while not in possession of the ball and not in the act of fielding the ball, impedes the progress of any runner. And you could say, well, fielder Abreu, even though he wasn't in possession of the ball, he sure looked like he was in the act of fielding the ball. We'll get to that in a second. But let's go further to look at the penalties for interference and obstruction. Official Baseball Rule 601A10 is interference when the offensive player fails to avoid a fielder who is attempting to field a batted ball or intentionally interferes with a thrown ball. And here's the key phrase: provided that if two or more fielders attempt to field a batted ball and the runner comes in contact with one or more of them, the umpire shall determine which fielder is entitled for the benefit of this rule and shall not declare the runner out for coming in contact with the fielder other than the one that umpires determines to be entitled to field such a ball. In plain English, only one fielder is entitled to field the ball. The umpire, Bellino, rules that the catcher, Grandal, is entitled to field this ball. He's under it. He's preparing to catch it. Abreu, thus, does not get this protection by this rule. Therefore, Abreu, by rule, is not considered to be in the act of fielding the ball because only one fielder is allowed to have that protection, and the catcher, Grandal, is the one that has the protection. I mean, he catches the ball. Of course he's fielding the ball. So Abreu, because he's not in the act of fielding a batted ball, thus is guilty of obstruction. Rule 601H1. If a play is being made on an obstructed runner, or if the batter runner is obstructed before he touches base, the ball is dead. All runners shall advance without liability to be put out to the bases they would have reached in the umpire judgment if there had been no obstruction, and the obstructed runner shall be awarded at least one base beyond the base he had last legally touched before the obstruction. So why is the batter, the obstructed runner, not awarded first base? We have to go to a different book for this. It's called the MLB Umpire Manual, and it states, when the batter runner is obstructed before reaching first base, it's not always the case that the batter runner will be awarded first base. There are two exceptions. One, if the batter runner is obstructed before reaching first base on a fly ball or line drive that is caught, the batter runner is out. The reasoning here is that obstruction had no bearing on the fact that the batter hit a fly ball that was caught by the defense. Similar logic applies to a foul ball not caught. Foul ball and obstruction aren't related, had nothing to do with each other, so the foul ball would prevail. That's what the ruling is here. So as we go back a step, we want to actually see what the book prescribes as far as mechanics is concerned. Call the obstruction by pointing at the obstruction and calling that's obstruction. However, leave the ball in play. If the pop up or line drive is caught, the batter runner is out. So knowing that, and it's a nasty collision, we're going to go back in slow-mo and watch our home plate umpire to see exactly what Bellino does. So the first thing that happens is Dozier hits a pop fly. That's a pretty fancy graphic telling you it's a changeup. Bellino takes the mask off, gets first baseline extended, and sees the whole thing. The safe call is to indicate that there was no interference between Dozier and the catcher Grandal. Then he points at Abreu, the first baseman, to say, that's obstruction on you. Then, the next thing, noticing that Grandal has caught the ball, puts the fist up to signal that's an out on the catch. If you need a more detailed description, visit us at closecallsports.com for the full article on this. We'll see you on the site. If you have any more questions, at Close Call Sports on Twitter and Facebook. We'll see you on the site.